we've got a lot to do still before the Christmas break and before the New Year is upon us. And one of the things that we announced last week, if you didn't catch our webinar last week, I did a crazy, crazy thing. And I actually announced that we were doing a £50,000 giveaway equivalent thereof within WiggyWam. And what we're going to do was to offer 10 free places on our 12-week roadmap training, which is designed to make your business an additional 20% of revenue over the course of the next 90 days. That is something that I decided to do almost on a bit of a whim, because I believe that businesses are struggling, or certainly will begin to struggle as we enter the new year. And I think businesses need a lot of support. And so for me, Christmas is a time of giving, and I am open to giving that to people who are open to the idea of receiving as well. That is also something I've realized from coaching a lot of people, is that a lot of people do struggle to actually accept really great things into their life and to accept help and support. So, some people might feel that for whatever reason they don't think that I've got much value to add to their business, and that's okay, because a lot of you just see this perhaps cute-looking guy sitting at his computer answering a few questions every week. But I just wanted to share a couple of stories of things that have happened in the past, where I've coached and helped and mentored different business owners with their personal transformations and helped them with their getting what they wanted out of life. One story that sprang to mind earlier today when I was reflecting on this was there was a couple that first came to me, and they wanted to build a property portfolio. And I sat down with them and I said, can you tell me what your goal is with property? Where do you want to get to? What do you want to do? And quick as a flash, the guy said, yeah, I want to build a £10 million property portfolio within 10 years. Okay. And I thought, okay, well, that's a fairly noble goal. Let's have a look at where you're starting from. Okay. So they presented all their financials, and we started looking at them and took a bit of a sort of look beneath the bonnet, if you like, of their financial situation. And one of the things I noticed was that they were not in a good position financially, and that's fairly okay. That's what we expect when people come to the investment arena, if you like, and they want to build a better life. Then I can understand that sometimes their finances may not align, or they might need a bit of help and support. But this particular couple were actually on the verge of going bankrupt, and I just looked at their figures and I was like, okay, but great goal, but you do realize that you're very close to bankruptcy. And they looked at me like, what? I said, look, here's your liabilities. This is how much is going out every single month. This is how much is coming in, and this is your liabilities, and these are where you stand with your credit cards and your payments and your timeframes and all the rest of it. I said, I can see this coming to a very abrupt ending unless you get things sorted out straight away. And within, I think at that time we were working together for about 8 weeks. It could have been longer, might have been 90 days. And this guy went hell for leather trying to turn things around. And within 90 days, he did. He shifted a lot of liabilities off his balance sheet, as it were, legally and professionally, shall we say, and also found ways to generate additional income to support his outgoings and all the rest of it, because that was one of the things that was killing them, was a lack of income and a huge amount of outgoings. And the important point of the story was that, unbelievably, his wife was actually a financial advisor. Okay, and having looked at the numbers and their financial statements, they couldn't see that they were in that difficult position. Okay, so I'm just showing that as a bit of a story and on a personal note. The other story that I wanted to share with you was probably about 3 years ago now, prior to COVID and all the rest of it. I was called in to help a civil engineering company. This was quite an interesting story, because it was an accountant that introduced me to them and said, look, they're in danger of going to the wall. Can you help them out? And I said, look, I'll willingly go in, spend a couple of weeks there, see what we can sort out, see what we can do to troubleshoot. And I don't know if you know much about civil engineering, but it's quite, how do I say it? It's a very down-to-earth and quite rough and ready profession. The guys are straight talkers. They're used to dealing with the mud a lot and digging holes, and very, very straight talking. There's no BS in civils at all. So I went in and looked at their financial situation and why they were in such a difficult position. And I started to note, we had on the boardroom table these stacks and stacks of invoices, right, that they've been sending out for all this work that they were doing. And in civil engineering work, what happens, just to give you a bit of background, is that let's say there's an invoice that goes out for £10,000 worth of work. it's customary in the industry for a retention to be applied to that £10,000 worth of work. So the client might retain, say, £5,000. And that is on retention on the basis that within the 12 months defects period, that if something happens to the quality of the work, if let's say the tarmac deteriorates on the road where they've done an infill, then the contractor has the right to go back and redo that tarmac and then claim their £5,000 back. And if they don't go back and redo the work, then the client has that £5,000 to go back and get that work fixed, okay, or that error fixed. And that's kind of how the industry works. And it was introduced, this retention element was introduced because there was a lot of civil firms that went bust, and left the client holding the bag as far as the costs of rectifying work that they'd already paid to have done. And so I was looking through the stacks of invoices, and within 3 or 4 hours, I was like, okay, can you guys help me here? Because these invoices had gone through both directors. It was husband and wife firm. Okay, both directors, their financial director as well, their accountant and the accountant's assistant had all gone through these invoices. And I sat there looking at it, and I said, can you guys tell me, like, what's 5% of 73,000, whatever it is? And they went, oh, it's XYZ, right? And I said, well, can you tell me why the client's holding on to 10% instead of 5%? And they're like, okay, we don't know. We've missed that. And it wasn't just on one invoice. It was on loads of invoices, right? So what this company was actually doing, the reason why they were in such a mess, was because they were actually going out, doing the work, and then instead of earning their 5% profit and having a 5% retention, which the client held on to, they were actually going out doing the work, and the client was holding back 10%, which was actually their entire profit, which was actually sitting in other people's bank accounts. So they were running the firm on incredibly slim margins, because that's how they felt a civil engineering business had to be run in order to try and be competitive and win work and all the rest of it. But not only that, all of their profit was sat in other people's bank accounts. And I'm just sitting there looking at this going, okay, guys, we've got no visibility on numbers whatsoever here. And so within about a week, we got these big whiteboards up on the walls, and we were looking at the pipeline income that was coming in to the firm versus the outgoings and all the rest of it. And the sad part about the story was that after about 2 months of looking at these numbers and looking at the pipeline, we came across a £70,000 shortfall. And in order for the firm to carry on trading, they'd borrowed money to try and keep it going. They'd gone to, I think it was Funding Circle or somewhere like that, to get some funds to keep the firm going. And there was no visibility on the number side of things at all. And I'm not saying I'm an expert in the numbers. I'm really not, okay? But what I am saying is that sometimes a fresh pair of eyes coming into the business can really lend a different perspective. And so in this situation, as I say, there was no visibility there. There was a £70,000 shortfall that was coming up in their accounts. And the funny part of the story is that I spoke to the director, who's this civils guy, and we sat there in the boardroom, and I said, okay, you've got a problem here, because come May you're £70,000 in the hole and you've got no income. How are you going to bridge that gap? And he went, well, you'll have to put the money in. And I'm like, okay, for 2 weeks I've been trying to sort out your company, and I've been trying to sort out a revised structure in the business, and all of my suggestions that I've put forward you haven't taken on board, and in fact you fought against me. And now when it comes to the crunch point, you want me to put my hand in my pocket, pull out a £70,000 check and cover your losses, right? Because you're not listening to how the business perhaps should be run. And it's very difficult, obviously, to tell somebody how to run their business. I'd subscribe to that view, other than if somebody needs to be told, I will tell them. But if they don't choose to take that knowledge on board, that's up to them, right? So I've gone from, shall we say, I had a bit of, a friend of mine pointed out that I have a bit of a savior complex, where I wanted to try and save a lot of people from hurting themselves financially or getting things wrong in business, whereas now I realize that people have to make their own mistakes, and they have to sometimes learn the hard way. There's nothing you can do about that. But the point of me sharing all of that with you is to highlight that there's a reasonable amount of skill and knowledge tucked away up here somewhere. And if that's something that appeals to you and that you want to take advantage of, and having a fresh pair of eyes coming into your business to look at it over the course of 12 weeks and to really fast track your success, because I think 2023 is going to be a really challenging year, and particularly in estate agency and conveyancing, it's going to be make or break for a lot of business. I'm not going to beat about the bush. It really is going to be make or break. And I know that there will be many businesses that will make the wrong choices when it comes to how to financially manage the ship, if you like, to survive the year. And what I think a lot of businesses will do is end up chopping staff numbers in order to reduce overhead, and they're focusing on the wrong element, which is, first of all, getting rid of their human resources, which is perhaps the most important thing and the most time-consuming bit to build up in a business, is to train somebody in the way that you do things around here. But secondly, they're focusing on the wrong thing. They're reducing expenses rather than focusing on building revenue. And that's the most important thing. And particularly where a market is slowing down, where the market is going to get harder to sell property, where it's going to get harder to convince clients that they should be spending more money on a higher fee, or for conveyancing or estate agency. I think this is going to be a really challenging year. So if you are thinking that the next year holds also a lot of opportunity, because it does, and I want to be very clear about that, then I would encourage you to join our £50,000 Christmas giveaway by sending me an email, happytohelp@WiggyWam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@WiggyWam.co.uk. And in the subject line, just put Christmas giveaway. Okay, Christmas giveaway. That's all you need to put in the subject line, and just send that email in. Everybody will go into a hat. We'll do the draw on Christmas Day. I think that'll be a good time to do a bit of a draw. We're giving away 10 places. And as I say, over the course of 12 weeks, I'll hold your hand in building up your business and stacking an additional 20% of revenue onto your business within 90 days. Okay, that's a promise. We will, well, it's actually a guarantee, not a promise. I'll make that happen. The other thing I will say to you is that if you are not a business owner, but you like the sound of this and you think it could actually enhance your career, whether you are a plumber, a sparky, whether you're a removals man or woman, whether you're a surveyor, conveyancer, estate agent, letting agent, or anybody that's connected with the property industry, then if you feel that actually you could get some benefit out of this, then please reach out to me as well. You can join in the Christmas giveaway. And if we draw your name out of the hat, you'll win the space, and we'll work with you over the course of the next 12 weeks to really bolster your authority in the industry. And that has a massive consequence in terms of your demand, i.e. what employers will pay you to have the privilege of you working for them. Okay, so it's open to everybody. I'm not going to harp on about it. It's there if you want it. As I say, I'm not going to try and push you or force you to join in. You either want it or you don't. It's a take it or leave it situation. We've kept the barrier to entry very, very low in terms of joining in. If you want to join in, as I say, just send me an email, happytohelp@WiggyWam.co.uk, and put the subject line as Christmas giveaway. And I'd be delighted to draw your name out of a hat, all being well, on Christmas Day, whilst we're enjoying a glass of port or something like that. All right, so that'll be fun. As I say, I'll leave it with you. It's up to you. If you want it, reach out, grab it with both hands. If you don't, again, no hard feelings. Wishing you all the best of luck in 2023, whatever happens. Okay, right. So just want to give you that context, guys, before we kicked off today's webinar, because it is important. We've had a few people reach out saying, what is this actually all about? And I think in my enthusiasm last week, I just wanted to sort of make the announcement and get people involved, but I didn't really give you guys too much context. So if you've got that understanding now, then hopefully that'll give us enough room to sort of move on and get into this week's questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, that draws our webinar to a close today. Thank you so much again for all of your questions and for joining in and for your incredible support over the course of the last, well, I suppose 90 days or so that we've been running these webinars. It's really wonderful to be able to sort of share some help and support and advice to various different people and help you along with your property journey, because I know how daunting and complicated it can seem when you're first started getting into property. And I remember one of the most humbling experiences for me was, I think it was 2006, when I'd spent a number of years in the property industry as an estate agent and also trained to become a surveyor. And I went to my very first property investment education seminar, right? And I was like, yeah, it's dead easy to make money in property, right? This is all you need to do, buy it, do it up and sell it. And I got introduced to this entirely different world of not only just personal development education, but also different strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use to build a property portfolio that nobody had ever showed me before. And I was like, oh my goodness. And that was, as I say, one of the start of my journey to realizing how much I don't know as an individual. And yeah, it's been really interesting to change my life since 2006 to become more widely read and more studying of realizing that I don't know uh, virtually anything as far as this world is concerned. There is so much to learn, so much to understand, so much to get our heads around. Um, but that, as I say, has led me on this journey of learning a huge amount of stuff, which I'm now able to share with as many people as possible through these webinars and through these questions that we send out every week to people. And so I greatly appreciate every single one of you for being part of our WiggyWam community, for submitting your questions each week, for taking the time to watch our webinars, and also to share these questions and these webinars with your friends and family. It really does help us to reach more and more people. There's some incredibly exciting things coming in 2023 as far as WiggyWam is concerned. So I hope you'll join us on that journey. Please, please, please do submit your questions. We are going to continue running these webinars throughout. We're going to do one between Christmas and New Year, and then we're going to launch into 2023 with a lot more on the webinar content side of things. So any questions, concerns, comments that you have, please send them through to us. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. That's happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. You can also submit information to us via our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk. Or you can find us on Twitter, which is at wiggywam_UK, at wiggywam_UK. And again, submit any questions, comments, feedback to that. Feel free to consider sharing this with your friends and family so that we can expand our reach and reach more people. And if there's anything that we can do to help you with your property journey, please do let me know. Final mention to our £50,000 Christmas giveaway. If you want to take part in that, just shoot me an email. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk with the subject line Christmas giveaway. That's happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk with the subject line Christmas giveaway. And I would look forward to welcoming you into our 12-week roadmap journey in the new year, which will help you get at least 20% additional revenue in your business, or build you up to be a superstar player if you're an individual working for a company and you want to take part in that as well. So we're doing our bit to try and help you guys and girls. Wishing you all the very best for Christmas, whatever it is you decide to do. Hope you have an amazing time. Hope it is the Christmas that you want, and it's a nice time to reflect and take some time for you, and just reflect on the year that's gone and the one that's coming, and may it bring you all that you wish for yourself and others. All right, looking forward to it, guys and girls. Thank you so much indeed. Have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and I will see you very soon. You take care. Bye bye.